Hey all, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another movie review for all my entertainment enthusiasts out there. Right now, all 11 of you from what I've seen, so it looks like I've grown a few more since I last checked, so oh boy. And really quick, hopefully you guys are doing all right during this turbulent time. And once again, obviously, for whatever reason, we can't mention the name of it. Or from what I've seen from the people I watch, which I'll give a shout out to JD from NY206 and or What Culture Wrestling. I haven't seen too many of the current JDs, so I don't know if JD has said the name or not, but I know that like What Culture, Wrestle Talk, and a few of the other guys I know, and a couple of the other entertainers have not mentioned what's going on by name. But hopefully you're all doing okay and safe and nothing bad happening to you or your families or friends. But coming at you with another movie review, and we're gonna get right on into it. And first, once again, let me apologize for the last video. Like I said, it was my first time on this new program. Um, Hope it's all going good for you guys and stuff. But I'm sorry if there was like, because for some reason the audio and the video got grainy and cut out. Don't know why it did that. I apologize for that. I'm going to have to see if there's any way to avoid that in the future and or get the audio and picture back to where it doesn't stop, freeze up, and cuts out on you, because I felt bad about that because I don't know how to necessarily handle that yet, but I'll keep trying to work on it and see this program and see what we can do to fix it, or if there's ways where I can go back into the videos, re-record, and add in maybe the stuff that's lost or something. But yeah, I want to apologize if it wasn't good. And I thought I had something on good HD ramification, but I guess I just uploaded with standard 480p. But once again, I think I was using the standard bare bones video that I used to make this. And when I had it in my program, I could have upped the value with my program, but did not happen that way. So I wanted to do a quick apology for that too. If you guys saw the video and watched a bit of it or watched all of it and you noticed the weirdness. But once again, I apologize. I feel like I'm using archaic methods, but I do need to get an actual microphone with my video camera so I can use that. And hey, I'll probably something I'll put down for my Christmas list this year, because I already sent my birthday list out, so I haven't had that, because I don't think I'm going to buy a microphone myself, not in the budget that I have currently. Could save up for it, but probably going to be a while if I do that. But anyway, getting into it without my ramblings on. It is the next saga in the 007 Bond films, the originals. Bam! Octopussy. Yes, with good old Roger Moore again. Now, granted, I know, and here's the pamphlet I'm going to be using for it too. The pamphlet of Octopussy there. Now, I know you guys could probably be saying, if you've ever seen this film, what a weird name, right? Yes, exactly. What a weird name. And if I recall, I don't think there was the novel. I don't think there was a novel for this here, Octopussy, but I do believe that it's based off, once again, the short stories, because a lot of the books were done, I think I think Moonraker was indeed the last book that they had at their disposal. Not in chronological order, mind you, but it's the last book that they had available. And I think by, oh, wait. Yes. I apologize. Sorry about that, guys. Octopussy was the beginning of that. For Your Eyes Only was the final book that I think Ian Fleming did, if I remember correctly. That was the final one he had the book on. So this was the beginning of all the short stories they were doing and all the different things that they had going on and whatnot and everything. So, it was really cool to see what they could do. And the fact that they made a whole series of movies from the 80s on into the 90s and into the early 2000s with oh, die another day, that was just a bit of a cool process that they were able to create. I mean, in my opinion, all these good Bond movies just by these short stories. But Octopussy, for lack of a term, I know the name is ridiculous. It is still a great movie. It's a great moment, and in the Bond films, and it's an enjoyable movie. I liked it a little bit more than For Your Eyes Only. I mean, For Your Eyes Only was good, but that one was sort of basic. This story, Octopussy, had a bit more on the line, even though the way they got there was a little weird. But it deals in the beginning with this double O agent, 002, who I don't think they mention his name, but it's a double O agent spying on things in a Russian compound. Or no, he's at a Russian circus, looking into a Russian compound, and within that time of the Russian compound, we see him leaving it in his circus gear. He's dressed up as a clown. He's running to get out of there, and he's trying to get to the part of Russia or the Austrian border, like, because I know that the Austrian border and Russia sort of connect. Or, I mean, he was trying to get somewhere. I don't know if it was Austria or somewhere else, but he was trying to get to the British embassy consulate. And he was trying to get there, and as he's getting there, he has these assassins chasing him, and they're trying to like get at him. He's trying to like fight him off, and I think like he does a good job fighting him off and evading him. It's actually a pretty good riveting opening for the movie. But like he eventually, I forget if he gets shot or stabbed, but 002 basically gets killed. Short of making the embassy. But given how the double O's are supposed to be badass, and this is what I like about it, because you sort of don't see it. You sort of do see it in the current films, but they're not really shown that much in the current films. But you sort of see it in the originals a little bit more. But like 002 literally gets up, drags himself. He's bleeding all over the place and dying, and he basically gets to the point where I think the British ambassador was about to go to a party in the consulate itself, and then what happens is the wife comes for him, and as his wife and the ambassador are about to take off, 002 crashes through their front window, and he basically collapses down, and I think he has either like a microchip with plans on it or a type of microfilm. I forget which, but he had something in his possession that was in his hand, one of the two things that was with information on this heist. And to give you the lowdown, what it is you have these terrorists trying to basically have a nuclear bomb go off on Russian soil to where they can probably start a war between Britain and Russia or America and Russia, because whoever this terrorist party is, they want to start a war between, the West and the East, involving the Russian states, the Russian country, and, the Britain and America, I do believe. And as you know, it still stars Roger Moore as 007, and it's told that, by the new M, who was played by, yes, Robert Brown. This is where Robert Brown finally came in to take over for the part of M, after in For Your Eyes Only, it was only the British ambassador. But for this movie, yeah, sorry, I blanked there. For this movie, we have like Bond going off to cover 002's tracks to find out where this missile was headed and why, and who is after this sort of idea, and who's going to be the scapegoats. And as it goes on, he heads to India to see the masterminds at work, to where he meets up with Gobinda, played by Kabir Bedi, who is his partner in crime, his partner in this one, who's actually Gobinda is actually a very cool partner for him to have, and he's by Bond's side throughout this entire thing, and like, well, for mostly the entire thing, because spoiler alert, Gobinda sadly gets killed towards the end of the movie when the assassins find him, and I think the assassin's name is oh yeah, it's not Orlov there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I think it's I think that's VJ who's the guy who kills him, who's his big bodyguard assassin. Because yeah, like VJ uses these saws on people too to kill people, and he tosses them down to eliminate his targets. And like Gobinda's killed that way, and that's very pain. I mean, you don't see it, but you could just imagine very painful and terrible way to die and whatnot. As it goes on, though, 007 James Bond finds this one place to where when he's in India, he meets a guy that they suspect who's a part of this, who's actually named, oh yes, Kamal Khan, played by Louis. I think they call him Louis Jordan, but I know that's like the French way of saying it. But I've always liked the sound of Louis, so sorry, Louis Jordan. But if it's Louis, I apologize, but I'm gonna call you Louis Jordan. Kamal Khan, played by Louis Jordan, who's a very like tantalizing, once again, suave villain. It seems like well, I mean, there were suave villains before, but you could tell that Spectre, like, they didn't hide the viciousness or the hideousness that these characters had. I mean, even not Google, what the heck? Oh, Emilio Largo and Dr. No and stuff like that. You can tell these guys were sort of whack. Now, Kamal Khan and Christatos and Hugo Drax. Sorry, Christopher. Oh, Scaramanga. And then I forget. Shoot, let's see. Living that die. Yaphet Kotto's. Yeah, Yaphet Kotto's character. I'm blanking. I mean, once again, I've seen a lot of these movies once, so I'm blanking on a lot of the names. But yeah, like all those guys, they started developing like double personalities to where if you were to envision Bond as a villain, this is how these guys would be. They would be exactly like this. And I mean, it's actually cool to see because it gives, in my opinion, it gives the later movies more depth of character and it hides the viciousness where you guys think, these are normal people, but then when you get to the idea of what they're after, they're vicious. And Kamal Khan is the main villain, and he's basically a loan shark and a gambler with a lot of money who supports the main female protagonist, the once again Octopussy, played by Maud Adams, and like supporting her circus. He like like teases that he's in love with her. I think Octopussy sort of like pushes back his advances and everything, and like she basically has him by the tether and tries to keep all this stuff you know ultimately, like she's a tease. Like she knows she doesn't want any of those men, but yet she uses herself and her female circus troupe as, oh, you think we're women who could just be taken advantage of? Well, wrong again. We'll kick your ass, basically. But like Louis Jordan as Kamal Khan is like the suave, sophisticated guy, as I explained. So sorry if I'm repeating myself, but what he does is he's going to use Octopussy circus to hide a nuclear bomb to go off in a show in Russia, which I think has the Russian president, the main Russian general, who once again is General Gogol, played by Walter Gotell again, and a whole bunch of other consulates because Kamal Khan is going to be paid a lot of money by this one Russian general to, like kill all these people so he can have a war with the West, basically. And that general's name is Orlov, played by Steven Burkhoff. Orlov thinks that Russia has gotten weak, that they're playing it safe, that they're not invading America. Britain, a lot of their neighboring countries, like he's saying, we should show them the proud steel, our, technicians in nuclear bombing, everything that we have. Like he's basically saying we need to show the world our strength and show them that we are willing to dominate and not be afraid. General Gogol and like a lot of the other generals don't want to go for this because they don't want to start unnecessary war if they don't have to. That could cost a lot of Russians, innocent Russians their lives. So yes, they are thinking of themselves, but in the long run, they don't want to have a world war unless there's actually really a cause for it. But Orlov just wants to start this because he wants to have, Russian power dominate the world regions. And we're good. And now we get into once again Octopussy, played by Maud Adams, and Maud Adams is back again because I don't know if you guys remember my Man with the Golden Gun review, but she is the one who played the henchwoman slash captive of Scaramanga, Christopher Lee's character in Man with the Golden Gun. She's back to play Octopussy, to where she's more of the heroine on the side this time of James Bond, to where when James Bond's looking for clues that Kamal Khan is trying to use this bomb or trying to discover what he's using Octopussy's circus and her ladies for. He goes there and discovers it's a place that's full of women. I think they try to they actually do kick him out at first because they're teasing him that they're not trying to hide anything, and they're basically captivating him, but they basically throw out the plans because I think what Octopussy's group thought they were doing was they were going to be conning people and stealing riches from people, like taking their money. She didn't think they were going to be used as a ploy for a nuclear bomb, but she thought they were going to rob people. So, they lure Bond away. Bond actually sneaks back into their compound to a point where there's assassins that go after Bond to kill him, and there's actually a very cool fight scene between Octopussy and Bond versus these assassins, and it's really cool. And we get to see the other ladies of Octopussy's troop take out more men and how they're tough, and they have weaponry, and they use their circus training and acrobatics to just take all these guys down. So it's actually a really, really neat scene. And I have to say, seeing Maud Adams play a hero as Octopussy in this one, even though she doesn't start out as that, more like an anti-hero, but she kind of becomes a full hero towards the end. She plays it, really well. She knows how to be very seductive, she knows how to use her and her circus troupe to get what she needs. You can see where she uses the power of sexuality to get what they want. And it's a very clever thing to do because you've had some women throughout these movies, use their wiles to get what they want from men. But I think in this film, it's hugely captivating because it's a whole group of women with this main one leading the charge, an Octopussy. And I think it's done very well. It's not done badly at all by any means whatsoever. And I got to give Maud Adams credit. She plays the character very, very well, and she looks good too. I don't know. Well, actually, yeah, I'll just show you the one on the front. Yeah, her. Well, hold on, gotta get the right finger there. Yeah, her right there. It's yeah. I mean, once again, you can't say that Maud Adams back in the day. I've seen what she's looked like in some of the interviews from the late '90s and early 2000s. She's still, in my opinion, looked good for her age. I don't know what she looks like now, but she still looked good then. So she's a very attractive person, and she can act really well, and she, did a great job with these characters. Couple of things to note too. You have Q back as Desmond Llewellyn, giving Bond his cool gadgets. I'm blanking on the gadgets and things he had for this movie, but it's and I know that once again they were pretty cool, but I can't remember what it was because, like I've said, I've only seen these movies once, and it's been a while since I've seen them. I know I probably should go back and rewatch these when I record it, but I'm doing what I can to remember them because I know I'm really behind with you guys, and I apologize for that. And there's a lot of catching up I need to do. So, and believe me, like, once again, I plan to go back, rewatch all my movies anyway, and do, once again, like, re-reviews on what I thought of things and stuff like that. And granted, some of these videos may be only a few minutes long or so, but, it's like, just, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. Now, let's see, is there anything, yeah, nothing much from the cast left to note. I do believe that this one was, oh yes, once again, written by, oh, I forgot, there was, 3 writers on this movie. There was, George MacDonald, Fraser, and Richard Maybaum, and Michael G. Wilson. And once again, to know that Richard Maybaum is still working on these long-time scripts is actually a very cool thing to see, because I think he's been working on, I don't think he's worked on every script, but he's worked on the majority of the scripts, I believe, since Dr. No or From Russia with Love. Maybe even he started on Goldfinger. I can't really remember, but I know he's been working on the scripts for a long time. Michael G. Wilson also wrote a lot of great scripts for these 80s movies, or co-wrote a lot of these great scripts in the 80s movies too, because I think the 80s and the 90s were the start of, just very good, like, storytelling. At least the creme de la creme of those stories, and the apex happens on Goldeneye, which I can't wait to get into Goldeneye to talk about with you guys, or even the next one, because the next Bond film is a gem as well. And, it's just very, very cool. And so, they co-wrote both thing. I know they mentioned George MacDonald Fraser in the special features a bit more about what he had to contribute to this film. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's like, it like goes over my head. Oh yeah, John Barry came back to deliver another good James Bond score, 007 score for this movie. Like, he came back for this movie to deliver another great scoring accolade to the film. So another really good bit of music. The action scenes and stuff were like really well done. Oh, should mention one of the funny scenes. Mention a few scenes. A funny scene in this movie is when, like, Q and James Bond are working together to stop Kamal Khan from from getting away, because Kamal Khan's plan, once again, spoiler, with the nuclear bomb with General Orlov, fails, and you have, like, Q come down in this hot air balloon, giving, I think, James some gadgets, and he actually, like, hits, like, I think a few of the henchmen, and, like, the girls take him out, and then, like, Octopussy's girls are getting all over Q, and he's, like, all flustered, but he's actually, like, oh, madam, oh, wow, well, whatever you say about him, maybe we can do this later, but I've got to go help James. And, I mean, Desmond Llewellyn, you can tell, enjoyed that scene. It was good fun. The train scene, where the nuclear bomb is put on a train to reach its destination and explode, where Kamal Khan and I think VJ's assistant were going to escape out the back. Well, yeah, they were going to escape out the back where the train made a pit stop, and to get away with General Orlov. And, like, what happens is like, Bond knows that the bomb is on the train. Like, he was chased by the twin assassins in his clown costume, took them out in a cool thing where I think he outwits the second twin, which the twins are played by Twin 1 and Twin 2, that's what they're called, David Meyer and Tony Meyer. And, like, he takes them, like, both out, and, like, I remember, I think it's when he takes out Twin 1 or 2, but he says, that's for 002, and that cool moment, like, he tricked him with his own, because they, like, threw knives to kill, that's what it was. That's what killed 002. So it was knives, because the twins threw, like, these very sharp blades at people. So it wasn't a knife that killed 002. And, like, Bond picks up a knife to kill one of the twins, and he's like, that's for 002. And, like, in a very cool scene, because, I mean, I know, once again, like I told you in the movie before, guys, for Your Eyes Only, that Roger Moore is pacifistic and he doesn't like doing these things, but you gotta admit, when anyone can do the character right, and Roger Moore was another guy who did the character well. It was just so cool and so awesome when he did that. So I know he's he was pacifistic. Rest in peace, Roger Moore. By the way, I know he was pacifistic, but it's like he was so good at doing the character when he had to be. Like, his comedy for the character wasn't bad because I didn't mind. I didn't mind that Roger Moore played the character a little campy because yes, there was more camp in his films, but yet, he was really good as Bond. So it's like he added more playfulness and camp to Bond, but it was still fun and he was still awesome as the character itself. And like I said, the train scene when he gets there to stop the bomb where he's climbing on the side of the train and avoiding trees knocking him off and everything is such a cool scene because he's trying to hold tight. And I think at one point, like there's another assassin or someone on the train trying to stop him, and then General Orlov is chasing after the train because I think Kamal Khan and his assistant basically bail on Orlov, and they try to get out of Dodge, but Orlov's chasing down the train, trying to stop Bond in the car, like making sure the bomb goes off or that it'll go off without a hitch before he can get back to getting away. And Bond is, like I said, trying to avoid trees on the side of the train, trying to not fall off the train. There was a part where the stunt double, as he was hanging onto the side of the train, there was a tree that came out of nowhere. I think almost knocked him loose to where he fell off. And then he said, like, the next part coming up is where you saw on the long shot as well. Or no, it was a close-up shot. On the close-up shot where the camera was facing, there was this, like the railroad, the RR signs or a metal pole or something like that about a train warning. The stunt double smacked that sign very hard, and I think he broke both his legs to where he almost fell off, and he could have been killed. And I remembered where, you know, I think they said that Albert R. Broccoli, Michael G. Wilson, and the director of this one, who directed this one? This was, of course, like I said, the guy who directed all the 80s movies, John Glenn, they all said, as cool as this stunt was, we don't want to put people in danger. So John Glenn and Michael G. Wilson, they all said, and they said they talked with Albert R. Broccoli, they wanted to make sure from now on that the stunts were done safely because they felt so bad that this guy got hurt. And I think they said he was in the hospital for 6 months, and I think the filming had to be delayed for 2 months even after the accident. So it's terrible that that had to happen. But once again, it's the risk you take. That's what being a stunt double is about. That's why today's stunt doubles, it's still cool what they do, but at the same time, it's a little like, because everything that's a stunt is now almost done in CGI, and there's no practical stunts done at all. And I'm like, regardless of if stuff was dangerous, if stuff happened, practical stunts were where it was at. Like every stunt now being sort of done in CGI. I can't get into it like I used to. This is why the earlier Bond films rock because, like, once again, for all these original films, the directors, the producers, the stunt doubles, and a lot of people, they had some balls, man. They had some balls to do this stuff. And the fact that the guy said he was scared, and I think he didn't do stunt doubling anymore after this, everybody was still happy how the scene came out. They weren't just happy, for the risk that was involved. And I can understand, but hey, I'm just saying, in my opinion, if you can get a practical stunt to still come off awesome and look safe, that is cool. Because practicality is where it's at, especially in live action films, is that where you're using actual locations and things and stuff like that. Because a lot of stuff just done with CGI and just adding crap into the backgrounds and stuff like that. Because I know maybe we're in turmoil with some countries and maybe it's too expensive to go there. I get it, but there's something about the older style of filming, whether it's with stunts or filming or directing or writing, there's stuff that I miss, and I miss a whole ton of it. And I'll just say that I miss a whole ton of that stuff. Sorry guys, sorry, yeah. Once again, when I talk a lot, I tend to get tired. But overall, I really have oh yeah, and really quick note here, the plane fight between Kamal Khan and Bond was really awesome too. That was a nice thing, and Roger Moore and Lewis Jordan had, you know, an awesome fight there with that. Not as good as the one coming up in the next movie, but it was still a great one. So overall, I would say Octopussy. I think I gave this one to. I think I gave both For Your Eyes Only and this movie solid eights out of 10. If I had to go low, maybe 7.5, but I'd say solid eights out of 10. And for this one, like I said, from like I just said, a solid 8 out of 10 for this movie. I mean, very enjoyable, very fun, great music, great effects, great stunts, pretty good story. It's a movie that you would enjoy if you're a Bond fan, and definitely one. I mean, this is why I'm glad I own all the originals, because every original film brings something to the table that some of the newer Bonds don't have, and some of the other films that like are just like, yeah, like if you want a film that I think could rival like the Bond films or the Die Hards or the Lethal Weapons or anything like that, that's probably, in my opinion, the John Wick films. The John Wick films are the ones things that can rival these type of films. But hey, that's just me. So that's all I have to add. What do you guys think about good old Octopussy here? I am very curious, so if you want, leave any comments down below in the section. Let me know if you like this film, haven't seen it, would you like to see it, what didn't you like about it? Well, like maybe improvements, different things with the Bond characters. Just let me know what you guys thought about it and liked about it, because I really would love to hear your thoughts on the movie as well. So, I hope to hear from you guys, and I hope you enjoy this movie. And until then, this is 012 Boku coming at you with this latest movie review, and I will see you all again later. Okie dokie. Bye bye.